Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is August the 4th, 2025, 10:30 p.m. here in Ukraine. And the key stories today are still focusing on India and China. Additionally, I can report to you that President Zelensky did go to Kharkiv. He met with wounded soldiers. He met with commanders who are defending that area. It was a very important day in the Kharkiv region. But as far as the world is concerned, we've had a lot of movement in regard to the United States, China, India, and Russia. Russia relinquishing their standard on deployment of ground-based intermediate missiles. That was just coming out a few minutes ago. But the big story today is China and India's rebuttal to President Trump's tweet a little while ago. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, and commenting. Let's jump straight into it. India basically has said, forget it. And I also have a really interesting video coming out of India just a little while ago. This is President Trump's tweet. India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purchased, selling it on the open market for big profits. They don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Now, this is 10:30 here in Ukraine, same time in Moscow. On August the 4th. We're looking about August the 6th, 7th, 8th area for these tariffs. We really don't know. In fact, the French were coming out today and say, President Trump actually put himself in a big box here by dropping this deadline, because now we're even seeing that we're seeing a green light for Israel to just roll into Gaza. And I know I jumped to a different region of the world, but listen, it's all connected. Netanyahu's been on the phone twice this week with Vladimir Putin, including today. So all of these issues and world events and wars are connected. There's no question about that. But focusing only on Ukraine tonight and focusing on the Chinese and Indian narrative, this is what Donald Trump has stated. Now, we know that Witkoff supposedly scheduled to be in Moscow on Thursday the 6th. We shall see what unfolds from that, or Wednesday or Thursday, Wednesday maybe, the 6th. But we shall see what unfolds from that. Now, let's take it a step further. Just a little while ago, the Ministry of External Affairs for the government of India released their official statement, and it's so important that I have decided to actually read it to you and show it to you, because I typically try to put information together and then deliver it to you. But here it is officially. India has been targeted by the United States and the European Union for importing oil from Russia after the commencement of the Ukrainian conflict. In fact, India began importing from Russia because traditional supplies were diverted to Europe after the outbreak of the conflict. The United States at that time actively encouraged such imports by India for strengthening global energy market stability. So they're saying at the beginning of the war, we were encouraged to buy from Russia. Number two, India's imports are meant to ensure predictable and affordable energy costs to the Indian consumer, by which I remind you that India is the most populated nation on the globe, bypassing China not too long ago. They are a necessity compelled by global market situation. However, it is revealing that the very nations criticizing India are themselves indulging in trade with Russia. Unlike our case, such trade is not even a vital national compulsion. So in this official statement, they're getting ready to throw onus back onto the European Union and back onto the United States. Number three, the European Union in 2024 had a bilateral trade of euro 67.5 billion in goods with Russia, period. In addition, it had trade in services estimated at euro 17.2 billion in 2023. This is significantly more than India's total trade with Russia that year or subsequently. European imports of LNG gas in 2024, in fact, reached a record 16.5 million tons, surpassing the last record of 15.21 million tons in 2022. So India is not only saying, hold on a second. You need to check your math and stick it, basically. We're going to do what we want to do, but they're giving facts to back it up. Indian people, very smart people. Number 4, Europe-Russia trade includes not just energy, but also fertilizer, mining products, chemicals, iron, steel, machinery, and transport equipment. Number 5, where the United States is concerned, it continues to import from Russia uranium hexafluoride for its nuclear industry, palladium for its EV industry, fertilizers, as well as chemicals. Number 6, in this background, the targeting of India is unjustified and unreasonable. Like any major economy, India will take all necessary measures to safeguard its national interest and economic security. End of statement. So not only do they come out and put bold statements and say, hang on a second, you're not going to bully us around with these tariffs and secondary tariffs or sanctions. Let's look at the facts. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. Now, this is where it gets a little humorous. This lady is Palaki Sharma. You probably have never seen her before unless you're from India. So Indian media and commentary, Vantage is the name, take on the world, beginning shortly on First Post. So this would be like any type of news program in your country. In the United States, it's the commentary programs. In Australia, in Europe, in Russia, Ukraine, everywhere, you have these political commentators that comment on news. And this is the statement coming out of India today.
If only Donald Trump was president in the 20th century, so much could have been avoided. The First World War, the Second World War, the nuclear arms race, the Cold War, Trump could have prevented all of it. After all, his surname is Ceasefire. We know that all politicians are full of themselves. They can be arrogant and boastful. But Trump is one step ahead. He is shamelessly full of himself. And we saw an example of that yesterday. The White House openly demanded a Nobel Peace Prize for Donald Trump. Listen to this.
The president has now ended conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel and Iran, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India and Pakistan, Serbia and Kosovo, and Egypt and Ethiopia. This means President Trump has brokered, on average, about one peace deal or ceasefire per month during his 6 months in office. It's well past time that President Trump was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
I think she missed a few there, like Tom and Jerry, Harry Potter and Voldemort, Batman and the Joker, and Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. If you're going to make fake claims, might as well go all in.
So there you have it. That's Indian media tonight. Just putting out that type of comedic commentary on what is really happening. So it gives you an Indian perspective to that. Now, in addition to that, China also today making a key statement. It's right here. Beijing has flatly rejected Washington's call to halt purchases of Russian oil, according to multiple sources. And I'm talking big sources inside Ukraine, inside Russia, US, Reuters, European sources. China will always secure its energy supplies in ways that serve our national interest. Pressure and coercion are useless. We will firmly defend our sovereignty, security, and development interests. This is the official statement from the Foreign Ministry of China. And Scott Bessent, even a day or so ago, the U.S. Treasury Secretary, admitted that when it comes to buying Russian oil, the Chinese are very serious about their sovereignty. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're at right now. These are the big stories. Now, in addition to that, I can tell you tonight from inside Ukraine, Security Services for Military is reporting that a large salvo of missiles is loaded on the Tupolev bombers. That would be the 95s. That would also be the Tupolev 24? Tupolevs? I can't remember the exact number, but all of the bombers have been repositioned and they are loaded with full deployment of missiles. In addition to that, MiGs can go up at any moment. So Ukraine expecting large-scale attack, especially in lieu of Ukraine's great success hitting Russian targets over the last 48 hours. So we shall see, and we will keep you updated. We are prepared and ready for it. You guys be blessed. Thank you for being here. And remember people like this tonight. This is Kirill's Vyshavanka. And hopefully you'll see Kirill soon, my little buddy, who will soon be the president of Ukraine. That's my prediction in about 20 years. So be blessed. We'll be back at you.